she hadn't been retiring this year from her duties up at West Tofts, would have, obviously she was in line to be really commandeered by George Bush. You know. Well, it was all on the cards because she's so efficient. But apart from anything else, and her great work up there and her fondness for everybody at West Tofts, which she apart from anything else, I think she's been in so many things there, including the Colonel's secretary, and she's looked after people when they've gone in for inquiries about just not Dad's Army, but all sorts of things. But she's also done a wonderful job in helping the society in finding all the locations that we used, and I don't think one of them now is missing. I think the society have all those locations on record that we used for the filming of Dad's Army during that 9 years. And it is a really great pleasure to ask Anne to come up, and we will present her with just a little thank you from the society. Anne, please. And it is engraved for you as well. So something perhaps you will remember us by. We certainly will remember you for a long time, my dear. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's been such a joy to take you around over the years. I took Bill around last September. And, you know, I really enjoyed it and I'll miss it. Thank you very much.
Lovely, well done. Thank you, Anne.
Right, I just wanted to talk to you really about, you know, before you started in show business, I understand you had quite a lucrative business.
Well, yes, I'm not going to spend too long now. This time of night, we were all, you know. But you want to know what I did beforehand? Is it? Well, I had several jobs. I started off, I think, as a farming, and I didn't do that for long because I ran the tractor into a brick wall and got sacked from that. I then went into a munitions factory for a while, making parts for Spitfire fighters, and then in 1946 I joined the Indian test team, came over here as the assistant baggage boy in 1946 and had my first taste of curry, but made a lot of friends with the various people like Mushtaq Ali and Vijay Merchant, Banerjee, all those sort of folks, and I had a great time for 6 or 7 or 8 weeks with them, and met for the first time a chap who we continued a friendship with for a very long time. It was John Arlott, the commentator, who I used to be fascinated by his voice and his remarkable commentaries on radio, where he would talk about everything else, you know. It's a lovely day here at the Oval. I can see the gasometer there. I know the play is going to start in just a few moments here. And in fact, he did do one commentary on a ladies' cricket match in Lords, I think it was, or the Oval, and he made it sound something rather special. He said, well, here we are at the Oval. It's about 11:15, the gasometer's still there, as usual. And I must say now the match between the Lambeth ladies and the Battersea Blags is about to begin. And at the moment there's Fanny Adams bowling to Nellie Danish. She's bowling with a slip and a petticoat high up, a short leg there. And she bowls now, and Fanny stretching her legs to the utmost, manages to smother the spin. She also manages to smother the wicket-keeper, which is not surprising, as Fanny weighs the best part of 19 stone. There's been an appeal against the light, and with that, this is John Arter saying goodbye to you from the Oval and returning it to the studio. And I did that as an impression for him one day, and he would have laughed. He said, it's amazing, isn't it? It's better than I am. But I had a great time those sort of 8 weeks, and then I joined a window cleaning company, which is the most profitable part of my life, I think, because there were buildings going up all over London, and you could really work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if you wanted to, you know. And I did quite a lot of that cradle work around the big buildings. South Africa House was one of them. We used to go right up there in the big cradles, you've got extra for that. So that was quite a good idea. And I said to my brother, he said, are you making any money out of this window cleaning business? I said, oh yes, I'll make a few. He said, where are you going for your holiday this year? Thinking I might be going down to Bexhill or somewhere, you know, exotic like that. And I said, I'm going to Paris. He said, oh, he said to my mother, he's robbed a bank or something. You're going to Paris. It's miles away. Well, I mean, you know, so it was. But then, I mean, you could do that sort of thing, and it didn't seem to bother. But then that was how I really got into to Dad's Army soon after that, because I met Beryl Reid and I started a bit of writing. I went to a review in London when I was still window cleaning, mind you. We used to get up at 4:30 in the morning to window clean, and finish about 2:30 in the afternoon. And I then used to work at night as well. It was a bit of fun, you know. It didn't bother me that I wasn't an actor, of course, I never have been, but, well, so Ray Cooney said, when he was casting a play once, he said to his secretary, we're going to get Bill Pertwee to play this part, or should we get a proper actor? But it's all been luck with me, it really has, getting into, I wouldn't dare go into all the, how it all happened, but I was in the right place at the right time, in most things that have happened to me, and it's never really bothered me too much, as long as the money was right. That's all I ever looked at the contract. And I know, I said to David Croft, how do you want me to play this warden when it came to Dad's Army? He said, he said, shout a lot and be very fast. That was it, you know, when I used to come into a scene, he said, oi, get them shifted! I was pretty fast, you know, so they couldn't throw me out because I was very fast. It didn't take up much time. Maybe 7-10 seconds was it to begin with, so that's how it happened. But I won't go into all that. It's been a marvellous experience, and of course, it's marvellous to always meet you all at whatever function it is. 1 or 2 more this year I shall be going to, and I'm meeting a few more strange, nice people, which will be a joyous occasion. I don't think there's anything more I want to say really at the moment. We're all going to get home, I think, or do something, don't we? What are we going to do now? Oh, do you? Yes, please ask for something else, yes. Nobody's quoted that dear Arthur Lowe's great, wonderful sense of humour that Arthur had when David Croft said to him, you know, Arthur, you're a bit slow in learning your lines, you know, because Arthur was, because he was all talking about his boat or something else. And he said, you don't come by car now to the studio, do you? No, spent a lot of time putting the petrol in and all this sort of thing, and can't do that. He said, have you come, well, he said, underground, bus, marvellous, very efficient, marvellous. He said, yes, well, he said, could you sort of, you know, get here on time, get here a bit earlier? Yeah, always, awful lots of them. I've got the plans of the boat, you must have a look at that. He said, I've got the plans of the boat. We're about half an hour late now, Arthur, yes. And he said, I'll tell you what, Arthur, he said, I'm going to give you, he said, you leave your script here, don't you, at night? You know, I mean, you should take it home and learn it a bit. He said, I'll tell you what, he said, I'll give you 1 script for here, you leave here 1 in the underground, 1 in the bus, and 1 you can take home. He said, take home? I wouldn't have that rubbish in my house. He got away with it by this marvellous sense of humour. Anyway, yes, sir.
What I wanted to talk to you about now, I think most of us would like to see another run of Dad's Army on the telly, and we don't see much these days, and there's not sort of any sort of repeats, and I suppose the fees have dried up a bit on that, I think.
They certainly have. Yeah. Oh, what? But in fact, there is another one. You saw the 2 episodes, I imagine, that went out last week. Yes? Was it last week? I don't know. I believe there's another one, Jimmy said, going out on, is it next Sunday? I think it's my brother and I believe. Tomorrow, is it, Jim? A week tomorrow, Jim. Speak up. I see. My brother and I are going out a week tomorrow, so there we are. And that's slightly longer, so we get a few more bucks for the slightly longer one. Sorry?
Fine, okay. Well, I mean, I think all of us here would like to see more Dad's Army on the television. We'd like to see a good run. And obviously that would help the repeat fees. But I was a bit concerned about this, and I need to sort of, the members here now apologise. I've spent some of the society funds because I thought I'd like to buy Mr. Pertwee something, some equipment that might help him earn a few bob during these lean periods, and I'd like to present it to him now.
Here's what I need. What's this? Is this a leather? Because we used to have three things, you know. We used to have a scrim, which is something like you get in a butcher shop. You do the windows first with that, then you leather it, and then you dry it off. You see? But sometimes you didn't always dry it off because you didn't have time. You were on to the next job. But one of the big jobs I got was the Dulce's shoe shops, where they had all this chrome around the front. And I got that, and I got commission on that, and the job of doing them as well. So I used to pick up a few bob from Dulce's at that time. Then they took down all the aluminium and had wood. Rotten it was. There we are. Other than all the... Yes? Oh, is that it? That's it. Right, okay. Yes, this has nothing to do with us, is it? No. Well, it has been lovely to see you, ladies and gentlemen, and you all know, I'm sure, one wants to not be silly about this, but you know about the Royal Parade performance, don't you? You all know what happened there, the actual happening. Yes? Am I right? Yes, I'm sure you do. I'll tell you some other time. We don't have this time. Well, in 1975 we did the Royal Parade performance at the London Palladium, and at the same time we were at the Shaftesbury Theatre. A lot of bombing around, you know, so there was big tight security. We kept being searched in and out of that stage door during the 2 days rehearsal beforehand, which was, I think, Saturday, Sunday, and then we did it on the Monday. And we were all in different places, obviously, because people from various shows that were running in London, we were billeted just for the whole Monday, in wherever we were. And we were with the Billy Lyer Company, I think, from Drury Lane, and the restaurant above Liberties, they had the Count Basie Orchestra. Down the road was another pub where they had the KwaZulu African dancers and the Ross Mill Voice Choir. And then we had the solo artists, of course, so there were only 8 dressing rooms in the Palladium, and they were taken up by some of the solo artists. And it started off, we were told to be in there, obviously ready for the show, which we were, because we were early on. And everybody was gathered, and suddenly a call came through. We were standing in the corridor to say that the Queen had arrived in the theatre at 7:30, whatever it was. And so, everybody ready? Yes, everybody's ready here. Where's Arthur? Arthur? Is it Arthur there? Couldn't find Arthur at all. So John the Motion said to me, we better find him. Oh, where he is. So we went down a corridor and we heard this snoring. We opened the cupboard and there was Arthur slumped amongst buckets, mops and everything else, snoring his head off. And John said, Arthur, the Queen has arrived in the theatre. He said, oh, charming lady, give him my best wishes. And went off again. You know, that was Arthur. Anyway, we did our show, and then we had to go back and wait, of course, for the finale. And as we were on early, we had quite a big wait. We then go over, and everybody is then going into the entrance of the stage door at the Palladium. We all had our own stage managers who were guiding us in, and eventually we get in there, and we're somehow or other, we find our place. I'm fairly near the wings. Arthur is next to me, then there's other people here, and we're looking at the finale. There's a Ross Mill Voice Choir with Harry Seacombe and Vera Lynn singing Land of Hope and Glory, whatever it was. There's the Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh in the box. They were obviously, you know, enjoying it. And Arthur was standing there next to me, as I say, am I right? And suddenly there was a noise over here, and I turned around, and so did Arthur at the same time. And there was one of the KwaZulu African dancers feeding her baby at her breast. But now there's nothing wrong in that at all. I mean, you know, been rehearsing all day, the kid was probably hungry. And so nobody said anything, except that I saw Arthur's hand start to do this. And I knew he was going to say something. That was a cue that Arthur was going to say something. I thought, he can't comment on this. Anyway, he looked around after a moment, he said, he likes to drink, does he? Now you think to yourself, that's enough, isn't it? But no, the hand's still going, like this. I think he's going to say something else. Sure enough, he turns around at that immaculate time, he said, I can do with one right now, I tell you. She did give him a funny laugh then. Good night, God bless them. Thanks for coming.